How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? We're living through a very funny experience. This is my blog, and I have to talk to you about this because I can't believe it. If somebody told me that this is happening in America today, I would think that I'm dreaming it. It doesn't sound believable. It sounds unimaginable. Do you know that what's happening right now? Do you know that the Christian people are all in danger every time they say something or do something? Do you know the greatest fear they have is they should identify themselves as Christians? Anything that has to do with Christianity now is unmentionable. And the craziest irony is taking place because by far the majority of the population of this country is Christian. And they're the only ones who are afraid to identify themselves or have any connection with their own identity. What is it? What is it that we fear about Christianity that we have to silence them and have to make sure they don't identify themselves? You can't say Merry Christmas during Christmas time. There's all kinds of complaints and problems. And anything that resembles any symbol of Christianity at any time has to be eliminated from any public place. And they're fearful of even mentioning their name. There's an organization, the Christian Children's Fund, and do you know what just happened? This sounds unbelievable. You wouldn't imagine that this is possible. They took out the word Christian from the Children's Fund because they can't offend anybody by saying the word Christian, so they voluntarily decided to leave it out. It's just a children's fund now. You're supposed to guess if they're Christians, and if they are or not, it's none of your business because we can't mention it. The greatest fear a Christian has now is that anybody should find out he's a Christian. You would think that they just committed some kind of a crime that's killing people all over the world, and they have to make sure that they don't get caught. Pretty soon they'll be hiding in basements because if they come up, somebody's going to kill them just because they find out he's a Christian. This is unbelievable. Now, all the minorities are well protected now because it's politically incorrect to ever say one word against any minority because we're very self-conscious about the fact that they might have been persecuted before. So now if you're a woman, we know that they were once the underdogs and underprivileged or didn't have equal opportunity. So now if you're a woman, everybody gets nervous and panicky and they give her everything whether she wants it or not. Not only that, you have to be very careful how you talk to her because you have to be so overprotective of her that she now became a queen just by showing up. You have to make sure you say the right word because they have a women's lib organization. This women's lib organization means you can't call me a woman or a lady. Do you know that's a wrong word? You would think it's a respectful way to talk to a woman. No, woman is wrong. She's a Ms. That's if she's single. If she's married, she's Mrs. If she gets a divorce, you have to guess. You don't know what to call her. Every time a guy meets a girl, he wonders, oh, girl, like that's supposed to say girl. It's also a dirty word. The same thing with the black people. They were persecuted before too. So now everybody is nervous. If you hire a black person now on a job, you have to thank God he shows up and you're not allowed to criticize him. You're not allowed to criticize a woman on any job either. You're not even allowed to mention work to her. You hire a woman and you mention work to her, it's considered harassment. It's considered harassment if just you mention work. You're allowed to hire and that's it. You're not allowed to mention work to her because it's not allowed to be personal. You're allowed to say, listen, people work here, it's up to you. It's the same thing even with fat people. Do you know that if you're a fat person, nobody's allowed to fire you from any job? American Airlines had fat people working on their plane and they couldn't fire them for being overweight. because it's a constitutional issue. The fattest people in the world are now working on American Airlines. I was on an American Airlines plane recently. It was flying like this. The same thing with affirmative action. Affirmative action now goes for women, it goes for blacks, it goes for people, it goes for Spanish people. Anybody who was once persecuted now has a benefit of affirmative action. The only person who can get affirmative action is a Jew. So as if we were never persecuted. A Jew cannot get the benefit of affirmative action. Right now, if a Jew wants to become a doctor, he has to have a 98.9 average to get into a medical school. 98 point, but because of affirmative action. If you're Hispanic, 28, close enough. If you're black, 2, you're a doctor. We said, well, they have to get affirmative action because they were persecuted before. I say if they were persecuted before, the Jews should have a benefit too. If they deserved to get in with a lower mark, a Jew should be able to play basketball with a lower net. Wouldn't that make sense? The whole thing is just plain stupid. We should reflect a new issue and a new time and a new thought in America. We're all equal, even a Christian. If you can't stand it, leave the country. Don't persecute the Christian people.